Welcome to In the Room, where we explore the elusive world of casting for film, TV, and commercials. Join us as we interview directors, writers, producers, and actors, taking a deep dive into their experiences with casting and how the ultimate decisions are made in bringing a story to the screen. Get an inside look at casting and find out what really goes on in the room.
Where is she?
What? Where is who?
You know who I'm talking about. You were her closest ally, her right-hand woman. I know she told you where she went.
You mean Dr. Brown?
Yeah.
We haven't heard from her since she skipped town.
Well, I believe you. But unfortunately, my friend here does not. Where is she?
We don't talk much. I just give her little updates now and then.
Little updates?
Yeah. Oh! That is not my car!
Stop stalling! Where is she?
She moved to Gastonia with her family.
Give me your mailing address.
I don't have it.
Give me your mailing address!
I don't have it on me. It's at my desk.
Okay, well, that's all you had to say. Just go get it.
Okay.
I don't know why you're making me yell. Just if you have it, get it. Just don't... Huh. This isn't your car?
No.
You were making an arc like this was your car. Why would you be walking towards here if this wasn't your car?
Mrs. Snodgrass wondered if you had a moment.
What are you doing, Swift? You announce that someone's here, you see if I'm ready to see them, then you bring them in. You don't do it all at once.
Sorry. Okay.
Are you sorry, though? Could you keep doing it? You are dismissed.
Thank you. Thanks.
So here we are
Here we are.
in the room with Ashley Ray Spillers. Ashley is an American actress and comedian. She's best known for her film roles. Yeah, no, because you're funny, that's why. She is best known for her film roles as Elizabeth in the 2013 comedy film Las Vegas, Amy in the 2014 neo-noir thriller film Two Step, and Olivia in the Netflix comedy film Father of the Year. Her television roles include Janice Swift in the HBO television series Vice Principals, Sydney Jones in the drama television series NCIS Los Angeles, and Emily in the television series Distance, and Huggins in the comic science fiction web series Red vs. Blue. We're just going to go down the list. Also, her voice acting. Her roles include Dee Dee Pickles in the 2021 revival animated series Rugrats and Jill in Muppet Babies.
Aww.
So, Ashley is a working. She's been doing it a while. She's an amazing person. I am Heather Kafka, and I'm an actor.
People know.
I
by
mean,
now.
we should do it.
No,
We should
no,
do it.
I'm done doing it.
Who are you?
I'm Kendra Franklin, and I'm an actor and a casting
Okay.
assistant.
Yeah.
And this is John
I'm
Williams.
John Williams, casting director. People know.
They don't know.
They don't
Not every-
care. But they
are.
don't care.
They do care. I beg
We
to
get
differ.
new listeners at different times. You
Okay.
never
They
know.
care.
Okay.
Ashley.
Hi.
So, how did you become an actor? How did you decide to do this? You were little, right?
Well,
Because we all are.
I was little at
Yeah.
one point, and yes, I guess I just loved movies, but I mean, I wasn't a kid actor really. I started doing some theater, I guess, when I was probably 11 or 12 locally in Houston. And
Wait, where are you from in Houston?
well, I'm from outside of Houston.
Where?
I'm from Sugar Land,
Okay.
Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, you know it.
Mhm.
I'm,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So I'm from there, but I went into Houston to do some theater at the Town and Country Playhouse in Town and Country.
I lived right
area.
across the street. I grew up right across the street from. I grew up in Town and Country. Yep, Town and Country Mall. I grew up right across the street in
Huh.
Georgetown.
Whoa.
Apartments. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Whoa.
God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
man,
so
that's
he could have been casting you in all of these things
I
all
was
of
12
this
and I was
time.
walking around. You're a great kid.
You're going to be
You're
somebody
gonna be
someday.
somebody someday. You don't remember that moment when I walked up to you?
And then I pulled your hair and ran off.
I would have remembered that moment. That is not how things went. I mean, I was in plays at this theater, and I would go out for all the roles, and I would be given roles like they sometimes had to make roles for me because it was like we did a production of Grease, and of course I think I wanted to be Frenchie. I did not get the part.
Who
I
dropped
was
that ball?
Right.
You
well,
should have
listen.
so been
She could have been
Frenchie.
Frenchie.
Well, no, I wasn't ready for Frenchie. I wasn't ready. They made a role. I was purple chick number 2. They had to create a whole new group of, there's the pink ladies. They had to create the purple chicks for all the gals who weren't getting the better parts. And so that was my time at Town and Country Play.
Jesus.
I remember Purple Girl number 2.
Yeah. See? So why didn't you
Yeah.
cast her in anything, John?
Yeah, come on, John. Anyway, yeah, so that's where I started. And so I did theater there for a few years, but I didn't do it in high school. And then in college, I was just kind of chicken. I didn't study theater because I thought, well, I mean, I've got to do something practical.
So
And I got my
what was
degree
that?
in
What was that?
sociology with a minor in German.
Oh, okay.
Oh, not practical.
What was yours? Mine was
That's
computer-aided drafter.
What?
Mine was
What?
the point where I was like, okay, I'm crazy. I need to just get a real job. I was going to study to be a computer-aided drafter.
Computer-aided drafter. Is that
Don't
AI?
even-
Now
it's
I don't
like-
even
it's
know
like
what that is.
architecture. Yeah, I don't either, to be honest.
That's what your degree
Yeah,
is in?
someone told me they got to travel.
Oh, and so you were like, sign
Oh.
me up for that.
Yeah, I was like, I'll do that. I get to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was yours? What
I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts.
okay,
and
so you
didn't-
already knew.
Of course you did.
I didn't
about
go
you?
to college. I
I-
have no degree.
I double majored in biology because I was going to be a pediatrician and
Okay.
theater.
Holy crap. She's a smart one.
Kendra.
I was. I was smart at
Damn.
one point.
Oh my God. I
Still
barely
are.
made it out of school.
Okay,
Yeah, I didn't go
sorry
to
to
med school, though.
sorry to derail us. Sociology major.
Yeah, we digress.
Yeah, sociology.
And did you finish? Did you get that degree?
I got it. I have it. It's mine.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I didn't know what to study. I mean, that was the truth. Sociology ended up being this beautiful blanket that was like a little bit of psychology, a little bit of anthropology, a little bit of community study. Sociology kind of it covered all these bases I was interested in. But I changed my major like 5 times. And I think that's why I'm an actor. I just want to be so many things.
Oh my
and
God.
Makes
Actually,
sense.
being an
It
actor
makes
lets
so
you
much
do
sense.
that.
this is what I have
Yeah.
said my whole life is that I couldn't come up with a plan for one life. So
Uh-huh.
I wanted to try to live them all,
Mhm.
even if that was like strung out junkie on the street and then, pregnant woman. All of them. I want to be able to do all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It makes
exactly.
sense. As an
Mhm.
artist, right? Like, I mean, it's just, we envelop so much, I feel like, that we're like, oh, I can do this and I can do that and I can do it. But
Yeah.
we get taught you got to focus on one
Cut
thing.
the Saturday Morning Massacre and you going, I have no eyebrows.
Yeah.
You're like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, pretty much. I want to get into that in a minute because it's 4 a.m., I think, 4 or 5 a.m. when Ashley has to do her huge scene where she sees her friend get just eviscerated.
yeah.
Like, I don't even
And then
wanna-
I have to kill her.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Spoiler alert.
Your best
Sorry.
friend.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's
Yeah.
She
horrific.
whispered, though.
It's horrific. Yeah, you whispered like no one was going to notice. It's
Yeah.
so
Like
horrific.
a bad word.
And I was like, I'm so done. I don't know how she's going to pull this off right now. And you
Oh, Heather,
it.
it's so sick. I love doing stuff like that. It's like those I mean, don't you too kind of it's heart-wrenching, but it's also so cathartic.
Yeah.
And I mean, when are you gonna be standing in front of
I
your
went down-
friend?
Your best friend who's been cut in half. Spoiler alert.
I ended up in this career because I wanted to be a criminal, but I didn't want to go to jail. And so I was like, how can I still rob banks and be a criminal, but not get in
Yeah.
trouble?
And look good doing it.
Yeah. And shoot people,
Yeah.
and do all the things I want to do, but I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, just get to like
Yeah.
you get to
You get to play all this craziness.
Yeah, because then you get a chance
Yeah.
to actually, I'm understanding. You understand the crazy, you understand the person and why they made the decision.
Yeah.
And then you have like a heart for them,
Yeah.
right?
I never experienced that. I just wanted to shoot people.
Okay, John.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
So you didn't become a sociologist or whatever
Or a sociopath.
or that. Well,
Or
maybe. Well,
no.
maybe.
Maybe. Let's see. Still to come.
Yeah, I'm not dead yet.
Yeah. And so then what did you do?
Oh, after college. Is
Yeah.
that where we are?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So college, graduated, got a job at it was kind of like a community home for girls in North Austin. And I got this job. I was so excited. I think it was called Home of the Heart or something. And I was going to be like a house parent kind of to these girls. Um, and my mom, I got this job and she sort of she really stressed me out about it. She was like, that job is like, it's basically in the world of social work in a way, and it does not pay very much. And my mom was just not having it. She was like, you just went to St. Edward's University
Oh, God.
and got a degree, and you're going to go work at this, community home where you don't make any money. I don't think this is a good idea. And I got so stressed that I instead got a job at an online eyewear company, putting my degree to use not at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Oh.
in yeah,
That's
it was
exactly
in
how I ended up in computer aided drafting. I was working at a deli. My mom was like, "What are you gonna do? Work at a deli the rest of your life?" And I was like, "I guess I'll be a computer aided drafter. I don't know."
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But
it weighs
she just,
heavy.
Mom, I know you love me and you're just trying to protect me. I'm not saying anything bad. Like they literally had the best interest for us. They were like, they were like scared for us.
Yeah,
And
yeah, they were like,
I get it.
This is when we just drop in.
Yeah.
Parents just don't understand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mine did the
yeah,
same.
and that's what it was. She was just like,
I love you, Mom.
I love you, Mom. I love
Love
you,
you.
Mom. And so I got this job with this online eyewear company that was run out of a farmhouse in Driftwood. It was a very like kooky, quirky place, but I loved it because I drove all the way out to Driftwood every day. I was in this farmhouse on this computer. I was kind of the assistant to the CEO, but I also like did online eyewear try on with folks, and I would fit the glasses to their face, and it was very strange, but it was not for me. And through that experience, it really made me think about, okay, what do I want to do? This is not what I want to do. And so then I spent a lot of time at work on the clock googling like local acting schools and teachers and things like this. And then I started taking some classes, and I studied first with Mona Lee, which I believe is where I met
Yeah,
you.
we were in that.
Is
Yeah,
that
we were.
right? With
Yeah,
Mona Lee
yeah, we were in
at
class. with
Bright
Mona Lee,
Light
yeah.
Studio.
Bright Light Studio. Yep.
I have so many. My memories of that
Oh,
place
me
are like very
too.
hot and cold.
Yeah.
And s-
But Mona was wonderful, and then from there I studied with Laurel, and I just got in the community that way, and just really went for it. I was like, I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be an actor. I wanted to be an actor as a kid. I did it for a minute. I'm doing it. I'm going.
there
So
you
that was kind of
go.
that. Mhm.
So then you start auditioning.
Yeah, I think. Well, my dear friend Denise O'Connor, which I think
Yeah.
you may know. She started taking a class, a screenwriting class with Pat Candler. And so she started to become very involved in the community. And then she made a film and she put me in that film. And that's how I met Kat. And I just started finding my way into the world and auditioning for lots of UT projects and then UT grad projects. And uh, I think that's how I met Jason Whaling, and then he cast me in a. Were you? He made a animated feature called The Third Day, and he cast me in. I don't think anything ever. It was about like Jesus coming back as a zombie or something, and I don't think anything ever happened with it. But Caritza was in it. I think Johnny was in it. I mean, nothing ever happened. And then I think that's how I kind of got to know them. And then, yeah, I don't know. I guess I started auditioning for things, classes. Well, I got an agent through Mona. There we go.
Right.
I
Mona
got an
us the
agent.
Mm-hmm.
We had a showcase and I signed with Collier. And then I was being pushed out for stuff. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Hard to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind
know.
of followed in her footsteps. I didn't get Collier first, but I got with Collier. And then I was with Laurel. I went from Mona to Laurel and then Laurel to Collier. So we now have,
Nice.
I kind of like trailed behind you.
Do you think
Yeah.
that all of those experiences I mean, all experiences help us. What kind of a stupid question is that? But do you think
Yeah.
I often question if going to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts was maybe the better thing for me to do or not. And only I feel like I'm coming back around to like, yes, of course it was, but only in this place where I was sort of like alone in my own bubble of inspiration and this is my dream and my
Mhm.
destiny. And I was very driven and motivated and I had my own relationship with this craft. And
Mhm.
then, and I was alone sort of here in Austin growing up. There wasn't a lot
Mhm.
going on. And then I went to that school and it was like Fame, the TV show or the movie or
Mhm.
whatever. You know, it's like you have a jazz class and you have theater history class and you have fencing for some reason. And
Mhm.
I was sort of like, I felt a little bit like all of my instincts were kind of being squished away
Uh-huh.
and like all this technique was being piled
Mm,
on and there was all of this stripping down of like who I was and then the next
mhm.
thing I knew I was like kind of this insecure mess
Mhm.
and I often wondered maybe I shouldn't have done that but I mean I've learned a lot of good techniques and stuff since then and I know that now the craft is more than just feeling inspired to emit a feeling but
Right.
you know but sometimes you end up in a class and you're like I don't know if that was the best thing for me.
I think that
Yeah.
I did the same thing. Went to dramatic art school, and it was I needed to. I didn't think I knew what I was doing, and then once I got out and I went to set, I realized that I needed to feel confident that like, oh, I went to school. I trained in this, right? But then when I went to
Mhm.
set, I was like, none of this applies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
completely different thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just wasted all that time.
Yeah.
But I think to get to the point to trust myself, I needed that
Yeah.
sort of like, I
Yeah.
gave this place everything I had. I'm now trained.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, but I was trained wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I met with Laurel and she found out, oh, you have a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in theater. Now I gotta strip that from you so you can really learn how to
I think you
be
have
a
to be
great
so
Yeah.
careful with the class. You have to be because
Yeah.
it's all about that person who's running it and what
Right?
their philosophy is, what their tastes are, what their
Right.
opinion. And you guys are just sitting there and getting this feedback, and then you start getting in this sort of like this conversation where this person is giving their opinion, and you're
Mhm.
trying to please that person
Yeah.
and do it right, right? And I think that's a really bad thing when it
Yeah.
comes to being creative and being able to stand on your own as an artist.
Well, and I think you're showing up to the class and you're saying, teach me how to do this. And I think with us actors, it's really complicated. I'm starting to believe that I don't necessarily know that you can teach someone how to do this. I think it's a personal relationship. Like you can do like some blanket things, like here's some exercises and here's some of this to explore and here's some of this to work with and know, but like what's going to work for me on the day is not going to work for anyone else.
Yeah, because I
You know
think
what I
it's an
mean?
individual trust within yourself, right? Making those choices.
So we digress.
So to bring it back to
Yeah.
you, what was your journey and progress for sort of learning how to like once you left this world and you got into like
Yeah.
auditioning, like what was that process like for you?
Um, gosh, it was so I studied with Mona Lee, signed with Collier, and then I went also directly to Laurel, which was a huge education, um, in and of itself. And I was auditioning for things, but I was not a strong auditioner initially. I remember. I mean, I just would get so nervous because I hadn't really done that. It was like I had done the scene study stuff with Mona Lee, and then I did some short films here and there. And then but like you're saying, it's a completely different world stepping onto a set and stepping into an audition room, stepping into a class in front of your teacher and your classmates working stuff out. They're all their own
And then the
thing.
voiceover work that you do, it's completely different than all the other stuff you do.
Yeah, the voiceover is different. Like that's a whole different kind of energy, I think. And so God, I think I just learned it like I learned most things by doing it and trial and error and uh, yeah, so that's what happened. But Laurel was big in that she could just see I was getting so in my head. I mean, she would work on an audition with me, and then I would go and she would be like, okay, great, you're good. Just like go and do it. And then I would go into the audience and I would freeze up and get so weird and start trying to do all this stuff. That's just what I mean,
Yeah.
that's what happened for a long time. And then just through being in class, honestly, with her and stripping away all this shit, it's Meisner technique. So it's presence, it's listening, it's your imagination. It's all these things that have nothing to do really with technique in the sense of, uh, you know, that we didn't even do a ton. I mean, we did exercises, but it was, your imagination ultimately, and being present and making everything about the other person and what arises from that, right? And that helped me so much. And then I think relaxing is what started to happen. I started to relax a little bit and go into rooms and think I could just be and respond and be present and alive. And I got more confident. And I think the confidence and I think the relaxation, I need to remember both of those things now.
Yeah.
Because,
So now you're in
um,
LA, right?
yeah,
And
I'm in LA now.
are you guys auditioning in person again?
No, no. Sometimes commercials will audition in person. Everything else is either Zoom or mostly tapes. And then right now,
Why do you
there's
think
Well,
that
nothing.
to go back to what
is?
you just said a second ago, I just remember when she used to come in the room, and you're so alive as a person, and you have such a force
Yeah.
that when you are present and you just allow you to be you, it was like the most fun thing to watch.
You
It's
can
like
feel it
you
in
can
the
feel it, yeah,
room.
and you always did it the way Ashley would do it, and it's always like we're going this way and whack.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
And
For better or for worse,
but
I
it
think.
was always so fun to watch. It was always so fun to watch, and it was always I was always excited to watch you.
Oh, good.
So
That's
now
nice.
you guys have to do self-tapes in LA for
Mm.
stuff in LA? Like
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
why?
That is,
Why aren't we going
Well, there's
back?
this thing called COVID that's happening.
Still.
yeah,
Yes.
COVID. Just
Still.
had it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ashley just had it, bless your heart.
I know everybody. I mean, we still get positive tests on almost every shoot we do.
Yeah. It spiked
Please
back up.
Wow.
go away,
Yeah.
COVID.
It won't.
Yeah, I guess it's still, it's left
Still a
over
thing.
from COVID.
Yeah.
And so everything is online. And just the big shift that happened, I think people moved out of offices. And so they don't
And
have
I
to.
think you have to
Right.
accept this because now you're in the room
Right.
online, and that's going to be the way it's going to be. And so now you guys have to figure out, like Scoot was saying, to how do I play the how do I do the table read? How do I do
Yeah.
how do I do now? How do I play in this box?
How are you doing with that, Ashley? Because I don't like I don't necessarily feel like you're technologically adept.
I mean, we call
But I'm not
her
saying
Steve
that,
Jobs.
but oh yeah. What's up, Bill Gates? But that's the thing I love
You're-
about you and like some of the best actors is you're so human. And the thing that I just worked on the short with you, Anna Margaret Hollyman's short, and when you showed up, it's like there's maybe 2 or 3 people that still exist in the world in my life that when they come into my presence, I can feel how human they are. And I don't really know what that is necessarily or why, but
Mhm.
your focus seems to be on things that are not of this busyness world and that are still truly deeper connected and intact from when we didn't have all this noise and clutter. And so
Yeah.
like how are you adapting to the self-tape situation?
Um, you're very right about all that. I mean, I try my darndest to not let, just like the pace of all of this get to me because that isn't where I live. And when I do live there, it's not always great, right? Like you can probably feel my energy. I run kind of high sometimes. My anxiety. Self tapes are weird. I mean, they're just weird. I'm doing my best to adapt. I am really good in a room, no matter how nervous I might be or how much energy I might have, I'm so much better in the room when I am with another human and can get in there and just sort of go like, oh, okay, here we are. We're just two humans. We're going to do this thing. I can take direction mostly well, I think, if I'm, quiet enough up here. But yeah, self-tapes are weird. I did sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I did so many self-tapes throughout the pandemic, like the height of the pandemic in 2020, 2021. So many tapes. Went out for lots of really cool stuff. Got nothing.
Yeah.
Um, got nothing. And
What'd you get?
nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nada. No,
Okay.
not a
All right.
one.
Zip, zero,
Um,
zilch.
Wait, there was no. Okay.
Nope, just
Yeah.
nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
No, and it was also, it felt like radio silence. I think we've all shared that experience where you send your tape out and we do go, okay, we have no idea what's happening
Yeah,
over there.
none. You're
So
like,
even if you're being considered
So I
possibly,
think that's the
there's
thing
no,
that when you guys are at home, there isn't this moment like a theater experience. There isn't this moment where it's like it's beginning and end, right?
no.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
so there's
No.
this vast void of any, and you guys are like, I guess it's good. I mean, I guess we'll send this one. I don't know which one I'll
No.
send. Yeah, and so it's like psychologically, at least like I got a shot. I'm going in this room.
Yeah.
And I'm either gonna fall on my
Exactly,
fucking face or I'm gonna
exactly.
get out of here and I'm gonna get it. Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
like
Now it's like there's just too much. There's just
no, I have two new experiences in life with this. And it's when I get the audition, there's dread because I know what it entails. It's like, I got to find a reader. I got to set up the lights. I got to do all the DVD. And it's so much tech, right? You got to upload it and then you got to fucking downsize it. And then you got to, and so there's that makes me go, is this even worth it? Like, is this even worth it? Am I just like over here just twiddling my thumbs in my room? Like, what am I doing?
at least when you go to an office, there's an event. There's something that
Yes.
happens at the beginning
This
and
is
end.
like,
an
what am I
event.
doing? This is like, I'm just doing this in my house, stare and take the dogs away so they don't bark, turn off the AC, like all this stupid stuff.
Grab the puppets, do the puppet.
Yeah, do the puppets. And then this thing at
No,
the
I
end
know.
that started happening to me is that I just this is probably for the best. I just completely forget I ever did it. And it'll
That's good.
come to mind like 2 weeks later. I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
nothing ever
I
happened
heard
with that.
anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I guess that's not going.
Yeah.
Whereas like in other auditions, I used to wait. I used to be like, okay, day 1 silence. Okay, that was good. Okay, day 2. Maybe they're gonna call still. Day 4, it's not looking
but
good.
that sucks too.
That sucks
Yeah.
terribly.
Right.
Like it kind of all
But
sucks.
this is just like, I just did something
thing.
that goes off into a void that like, what was I doing that day? What was the point of my existence?
Yes, and also, like John said, honestly, it all sucks, right? I mean, if I take myself back to when I would be sitting in the waiting room, waiting, when you hear the people, you see an act, especially in LA, you see these actresses that you're like, oh my God, she's amazing. They're gonna give it to her.
Yeah.
Right.
Here, you know,
Meryl
that's
Streep still auditions.
Yeah, well, shit.
But, it's like that's its own thing. And then you can sometimes feel when it's like, talk about my energy. Sometimes I go in, I'll do a thing. And I can see, sometimes I'll feel the casting director be like, okay, let's try. But then, we
Right.
can try something,
Yeah.
which will inevitably ground me and go, okay, here, what are you saying? Let's do this. But, yeah,
I had one of those bombs once, and I walked out. And as I walked out, the door was open. The clients, everybody was in there. It was a commercial. I said, "Booked it," and then I heard, "No, you didn't."
Oh, that's awesome.
And I just started laughing. It was like the worst audition. I was like,
knew.
"Booked it." And they're like, "No, you didn't."
yeah. Oh God,
That's kind of brilliant
Oh my
on
That's
everyone's
hilarious.
part.
But that's the difference from being able to go in, right? Because you feel it. Oh, I bombed that one, but I'm okay. I didn't do well. Okay, next.
You have no idea, too. And this
Yeah.
is also what I'm learning. I have found no rhyme or reason for any of it. There
There
have
is
been moments
no.
where,
Yeah.
There is no.
yeah,
When I'm like, it's either this guy or this guy, and then I'm like, you're going with that guy?
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
Exactly. And our feelings and everything, you can go in. I've gone in and I felt like, damn, that went so well. They really worked with me. They sent me out to take more time with it and come back in to do more. And and it was, and then nothing. And then you go in, you do it
Yeah.
once or twice. It feels so like meh. And then you get a call, you're their first choice. It's, and then sometimes, yes, you feel it. Vice principals is a one in a
Did,
million example
did you
of when
read
I
for
went in.
who'd you read for? Did you read for Jody or David?
I didn't read for either of them. I just read for Sherry Thomas, the
Because
casting
when I
director.
came on that and I knew you were on it, I was like, David is going to love Ashley.
Yeah.
Ugh. And I love David,
Yes.
and it was such a
Was it in
everything
person?
about that.
Was it in person?
It was an in-person audition. Same experience. There were a couple
You gotta
gals
let
coming
it
out
go.
that I was like,
So
these
I'm never
girls are
letting it go.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
Was Danny
you
there?
know, he was not. No, Miss Swift. They had already started production. I think because I came in. I think the third episode or so. So they had a little more time, and maybe they'd been looking for a while. I don't know. I think they were trying to cast it locally, and then that wasn't working. And so, yeah. But I went in, and that one felt. That was one of those
I mean, that
occasions
role was
where.
made for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it felt that way. I mean, I went in, I was nervous, all those things were still present. But because of the character, I was able to really use it. Sherry is an amazing casting director. So she really, like, if there is something, she gives you the time, she works with you. And then at the end, asked me a lot of questions. It felt very good. And then so that was
That's the
one.
other hard part too when you go in for things like that, right? And it's like it's gonna change the course of your life.
Yeah.
And they're like, just have fun. And you're like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
If I get this,
Yeah.
my whole life changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
And things did shift immensely. And so, I mean, that was my first experience working on something for such a long period of time, 2 seasons of a show spent with the
Yes.
same character getting to.
Yes.
And Miss Swift very much, I mean, I think initially she was maybe supposed to be in like 3-4 episodes tops. And then because this is how these guys work, when it's going well, they're so open to you. And so I just remember when Danny was like, "Are you liking this? What we're thinking about, like keeping you around a little more. How do you feel about that?" And it was like,
Yes.
"Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
feel great about that."
I don't know, Danny. I don't know.
Isn't that such
Yeah.
a great feeling as an actor when you can
Yeah.
settle
Oh,
in and not have to just hit
yeah.
it and quit it all the time?
It's what we want to do. And
Yeah.
so you get time, you get to know the
Mhm.
people. That's so much. I mean, we're actors. We want to be a part of the group. We want to be there and to get to be there. And you just start to learn so much about all the other actors, about your director, about your crew.
You're in the
you start.
circus. You're part of the circus.
Yeah.
You're one of the
Yeah,
circus members, and
You've
it's the
been
best. It's the best feeling.
exactly.
You've
You
been
start to
invited
learn.
to the table.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
get to stay there is what's just such a good feeling. You don't you lose a bit of that stress that
Mhm.
that
Where's my next
Yes.
thing? What
yeah,
do I gotta
that's
do?
like
Yeah, yeah.
we're on the last day of shooting and I'll never see these people again and God, I got to get a job again right away. And they're just constant. We live in so much uncertainty, actors, like more so than almost anyone I can think of, to be honest. And it's like some of that uncertainty dissipates and you get to just set in and root in your creative self.
Someone
Yeah.
that has high anxiety, like I have anxiety, you have high. There's a really smart choice on our part to be in this. Yeah.
I said that to myself recently when I realized I'm always first up on the freaking shoot day. So my call time is always 5 a.m. and I'm like not good
That's
at getting up.
another hard thing.
I'm not a morning
yeah,
person. And
yeah.
I'm like, why did I pick this profession?
Yeah.
I'm always like in the chair
And
at like
we're all that
4.
way. So why the fuck are we all
Why
shooting
are
at
we
5?
here?
Right.
Like any day that I'm not working, I'm waking up at 11 and
Yeah.
I'm staying up till 4 in the morning. Like,
Oh, it's hard,
yeah.
especially when I started working on NCIS LA, I did a little stint on that and they have really early call times.
Yeah.
I mean, and same, you're a guest star on it, so they kind of have you in
Yeah. And
earlier
you're
because they're figuring
female.
out.
They got to do all your hair and makeup takes longer than a dude.
Yeah. so early. And then once I got lost on my way because I cut that. I mean, I am like down to the wire, which is something I have learned is so dumb. Don't do that to yourself. Be early for yourself. I mean, really, it's a it's a real thing. Like if you're an anxious person and you're gonna be fucking getting there like at your what are you doing? What are you doing?
She's like fumbling for her Thomas guide.
I'm coming. Yeah. Once I got a little lost, a couple minutes late into the makeup chair. From then on, they started scheduling me like 45 minutes to an hour before they would have
Oh shit.
because I got labeled the girl who gets lost, which I don't. I just did that one. It was a location thing.
Just
Anyway.
tell him to send a van. That's when you
No.
go, just have Transpo pick her up.
Anyway, that's a terrible thing too. I was like, "Oh God, I get lost. That's me."
Yeah.
Has anyone seen Ashley? She was wandering around somewhere, getting lost.
Yeah. I think she's in Runyon Canyon.
We're at the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know what we were.
So
yeah.
what did you working on NCIS? Did that feel different than
Oh yes.
anything
Talk
else?
about yes. Okay.
I mean, it's a machine.
Yeah,
NCIS
it's
is
I was
a
like,
machine.
fast-
Because I
faster,
did
right?
CSI, and it was
Yeah.
the first time that I was like, "Oh, this is a machine!" Like,
It is a machine. It is so specific.
Yeah.
They have a way of doing what they do, and they have it locked in,
Yeah.
and that is how they do it. And
And then you come
talking
in
of-
and get lost.
yeah,
and then I come in and get lost. But that was a wild experience on its own because doing Vice Principals, that being my first show, which felt to me like one long, great movie. That's how filming it felt. It didn't
And they play
feel.
so much. It's so much fun because they just
They play so much.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your director.
It's so listen. I always when I'm in the room with David and I'm telling you guys, I'm like, hey, he doesn't care about the words. He wants you to have fun with it. And they come in and I'm like, he wrote it. Like he's fine with it. And you guys,
Oh.
I'm like, play.
He is not precious at all,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
so amazing. And the more you try, the better. And then the suggestions he'll give you are you're like, what?
yeah, no doubt.
He'll just have you like repeat things sometimes. He'll be like, say that again. Just say it again like 3 times in a row. And you don't know why you're doing it, but you do it.
I mean,
But
we had one guy at one point, and it had nothing to do with what we were doing, and he was like, "Okay, now you're doing in a musical. Okay, now you're a Nazi in a musical.
Yeah.
Now," and it's just like it just gets so fun, and when
Yeah.
people run with it, it's just like
So good.
I've laughed harder in the room with him than anybody. Like it's amazing.
He's the best. And also just with Vice Principal, I mean, we had pretty much same director all first season. Jody Hill directed us. And then I think Danny did the last episode of that season. And then David did every episode of the second season. And Danny did one episode of that. Like, so in that way, it feels like you don't have different directors every time.
Yeah.
So that was a whole new world going on something like NCIS LA. Just everything about it was so different. David is a wild man, which is what I love about him. You can tell he has so much fun. He doesn't stick to one genre, it's like he just wants to do and try everything. And I love him for that. And he's just a really wonderful guy. But that's the kind of actor I want to be. I think it's like we want to be able to do and try everything, like
Yeah.
different genres, different types of show. Procedural. I think he do a procedural for a minute even because he wanted to try that out.
Red Oak. I mean, you go look. He's done he's directed so much TV and like it's just crazy how diverse his career has been. And
Yeah.
The Exorcist, which is coming out, so it's just crazy.
He's wild. So working with him was so great. And then we all became pals, of course. And then he was in the midst of editing the movie about the Boston Marathon bombing with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
And anyway, he was mentioning it and he was talking about, I'm going to be screening it. And I said, can I come? And he said, yeah, sure. And I thought he'd forget. He remembered. He sent me an email, invited me. I was thinking it was going to be like a screening. So I get dressed, I show up to the studio, and then they're like, oh yeah, go in here. And so I'm finding my way. I go into a building and then into like an office building and then into a small, tiny office. And there's David in his office. He's got it pulled up on a like big computer with like three suits, like three exec guys in suits who are like the money people and me. He invited, he invited me to like it was because I said I wanted to see it, but I think I thought he was going to be doing so it was me, and I'm sure I was wearing something like very colorful, and then these executive guys and David showing it. So we're just sitting in his office watching it, and then afterwards, he wants to talk about it,
Oh
and
God.
and I'm like, I'm posing I think about this happened. I don't know, and these guys are looking at me like, who is this person? But it was just such a David thing to do. And he was like, yeah, sure, come on in. Like he didn't care what they thought about it. He
Yeah.
didn't worry about me. He was just like, yeah, sure. You want to see the movie? Here, see the movie while these guys are seeing the movie. Just,
You're just sitting there with popcorn.
Yeah.
No.
yeah, my bottle of water.
She's
But
like crying at the end. She was so into it.
oh yeah. But yeah, he's just really one of a kind.
And so for a while now, you have been busy working on Rugrats.
Yeah, which is a whole different thing.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, how does a person get cast doing a voice for an animated show?
Um, you you audition.
Do you go
Um,
somewhere and audition or do you send something in or?
I used to go. Now everything you send it in. So the way it used to work is I would go into my voiceover agent and they had a booth there. So for every voiceover audition, I would go to the office, go into the booth, have, someone recording me, giving notes, and then they would send it off. Nickelodeon was a different for Rugrats. I went in for that, and I will say most things I've ever booked, even voiceover, I got from going in to
See,
to the studio, being
see,
called into Nickelodeon or Disney or
Hey,
whatever.
it's just like
see,
you
John.
might you might
Just
want
See,
something. It's just not gonna.
Every
see,
I
voiceover
know.
audition I've had to do on my own, and I haven't gotten close, never made it.
see,
Yeah,
John.
even since being on Rugrats,
Mm-mm.
I send all this stuff from home. I very rarely get them. When I can
Yeah.
go in the room or at least have like a Zoom callback producer thing, it's always better. But hey, it's still Heather. I
Yeah.
mean, what are we gonna do?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. But that's how I got
You're just not
Rugrats.
gonna stop technology. You're not gonna stop. It's just gonna get. You might not like it, but keep
Yeah.
fighting it.
It's not even that I don't like it or like it. It's that it's not as effective for me.
You clearly don't like
I
it.
always, when she gets really big on this, I always say, "You want to come to Dallas? You want to come to Dallas for 10 minutes?"
No, I don't want to do the drives to Dallas anymore. I don't want to do that.
I used to do those
That's what I'm
drives to
saying.
Dallas
I tell everybody when
for
they complain.
John.
I know. I tell everybody when they complain. I'm like, "You guys want to come to Dallas for 10 minutes?"
No, I
for me to
don't.
go. So, if you were a superhero, well, who would you be?
But now people are doing it in their own backyard.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
silly Billy.
Or in their
just
car.
go in the room. Like, just if she's auditioning for something in LA, let her come.
She had COVID.
I know, and
I
now
had
it's okay. Yeah.
But here's what's happening now, Heather. I think if I got a call tomorrow and they were like, "Come on in to the room," I would probably have a panic attack. After all,
Yeah.
Right.
No.
after
It's
all
true.
this time being over here, it's like, oh no, I'm sorry, what? Because
Yeah.
I have also found comfort behind this screen, right?
Same.
Like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm fat right now, but they can't see that.
Yeah.
They can only see me right here.
Yeah.
And that feels good to me.
Yeah.
It's like I have found, but then I'll get cast and then I show up and of course, because I'm sick, I'm like, well, they didn't see my ass and now they're going to see it and wish, oh God, so it creates its own.
Same.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have no clothes right now because I'm poor and
Yeah.
haven't shopped for myself in years. And so it's like I don't have to wear. I can do the shirt and we're good.
Yeah.
You don't have to see.
But I'm learning with these tapes. I will say, I said I haven't figured anything out, but the last few things I did book off tape, I did a little stint on 911 Lone Star, and I did a little HBO thing right before the strike. Those auditions, I could not have been less because of all this time doing this and sending it out and not getting much. the one for the HBO thing, I had been at the beach all day. I think it was Easter Sunday. I came home. I said to my fellow Brian, we got to tape this thing real quick. I put no makeup on. I didn't even change my clothes. I went in, we did the thing. I did it a couple times. I couldn't choose. I sent all the takes and then I got it. It was like, I didn't even,
See,
it was so.
I hated the nerves and everything. It's like being at home to do it in your own space. Like I could really, and knowing that there's the freedom to you have control to hit delete. You could just try all kinds of things.
You do, and it's nice to have that
Sometimes too
control.
much.
Yeah, sometimes too much.
But it's also like debilitating because when I tape myself 15 times and then I have to
No, I
watch
get that, for
myself
sure.
15
And
times
you don't know,
and
you can't
judge
tell what.
myself, it's really hard. But
The
then
watching yourself is hard.
it's
I would say
hard.
that.
I
I
don't-
don't love it.
I don't love
Because
that.
the things that we have hangups about too, I've
Other
also
people
learned
don't.
this, like
yeah.
they don't, and that may even
And
be
you
the
guys
thing
don't have
they're
any-
like loving about
That's
it.
right. That's
And
And they're
right.
like, my face looks so weird.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or I can't send that, and they're like, we like the girl with the weird
face.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just you.
And you
it's
guys
just
don't know. You don't know. Like you guys walk out, and because you've had an experience that, like experiencing it, right? And I have an experience watching it, right? And you guys are like, that was horrible. I'm like, no, that was great.
Mhm.
You're like,
I honestly feel like if there was more back and forth and there was some level of feedback, it would help a lot. I think it would make me feel
but
different.
also too, like it depends on the mood that I'm in and how's my day going. And I'm
Mhm.
telling you, just like an acting coach, I'm telling you what I think is good or bad. Like at least you have a little bit more control over than whoever's their opinion. Because I can have a million, and I always have a million things going on, and I'm like, that was horrible, but I'm already irritated because of something else, and I'm like telling you that you're doing a bad job because I'm pissed off, or like at
That
least
was
now you guys
horrible.
have that control, right?
I mean, that's life.
Yeah.
Do you ever say that? That was
What?
horrible.
Oh yeah, all the time. I go, that was fucking horrible. What are you doing?
Has anyone ever said that to you, Ashley? No.
No, no one's ever said that's horrible. But I mean, I've seen some faces, and I know what the faces mean.
Right.
You know, it's like.
But
yeah.
I truly always want, because it's a reflection of me,
Right.
the product that I'm
Yeah.
putting out, which is you guys. So I want you to do the best. And if you guys come in and you're not prepared and you don't know and you're just like phoning it in, yeah, I'm gonna tell you, you're fucking phoning this in,
You
dude.
told me. I mean, you didn't say it like that. You just in the middle of me doing an audition, he stopped. He goes, "Stop! Don't do that." And I was like, "Okay." And he
Oh,
was like,
nice.
he was
I
just like, "Don't."
respect
He
that.
goes, "I'm gonna start over, and let's just do it." And I was like, "Okay." And then I redid it, and he goes, "Thank you. That was great. Let's do one more, right?" And then I think actually whatever
I
it was,
always
always
I got it.
constantly, I call,
Yeah.
and even from the simplest commercial, like every one of them, I'm trying with the minutes or 2 minutes that I had,
Right.
especially when I was a session runner, because I wanted to have like Shane or the people I worked for look good. I'm
Yeah.
always trying to get the best take out,
Right.
because I want the best for you. I want the best for the people I'm working for, and I want the best for the product to go to the people that are making it.
Mhm.
Ashley, those ones that you just kind of like threw it out there after a day at the beach, were you like, cool, or did you feel kind of guilty?
Um,
I'm asking for a friend.
a little bit. I know what you're saying. There
Do you
was
know what I
part of me. There is part of me that goes like, "Oh,
Eh.
you being a lazy
Yeah.
actor?
Yeah.
You're
I could have
just,
tried.
you're just." But I think I am learning. I think I think that the more relaxed you are, like with on camera, film, TV. I mean, all it stage, whatever. For me, being relaxed is like gold because
Mhm.
then something can happen that's
Mhm.
honest and surprising. If I am not relaxed, I'm just living in here and I'm worried about if I'm doing a good job for you and thinking about what you. It's just not a recipe for success. And
Hank
so,
Azaria, right? Is this how you pronounce it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, I never do the same take. He goes, I do it completely different because I know I've done enough where he's edited, and he's like, I want as many choices as possible when I'm in that room. And he's like, and it's like playing a song. Like it's the same song, but each time it's different, And it's like you have to just let go and just be completely relaxed and just throw it out there. And it might be a horrible take, but it's like now we have that option.
Mhm.
Now we have this option.
Every editor in the
Yeah.
world right now just went,
Doesn't
"Ugh."
matter. AI is going to edit, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, no. No.
Now it's up to AI to pick the best
Yeah.
take.
Oh,
oh,
God, no.
stop
Oh,
it.
I'm going to vomit.
But talking about being in the room, there's also nightmares that happen in the room. I mean, once I think I was going out from Modern Family? Who casts that? Oh, he was like,
He was so
I,
mean.
I think it was Modern Family, and they are really like even just getting in for that to audition for that it's hard to even get an audition. And so I got an audition. I think I got a callback. I went to the callback. The producers were in the room. Everybody was in the room. I was doing it, and then the casting director he stopped me mid scene and went, "Okay, wait, stop. We wrote that she's supposed to be a sexy kindergarten teacher." And I went, "Oh, oh," and I think I thought that that's what I was doing.
Right.
And he was like, "Why is your hair like that?"
Ah!
I wore my hair, it was kind of Miss Swifty hair, like up in a bun. It was a thing I did forever because I had so much hair, I just pop it on my head. It was just easy. I thought I liked it. He was like, "That is not sexy. That's like matronly." And so I'm
God.
like, "Okay." And he goes, "Can we take it down? Can you just take it down right now?" Which, your hair, you've put your hair,
You
we
can't just
know
take it down at that
take it
point.
down.
No.
I have so much hair. It's like pinned and
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
like so precise, even though it looks messy.
Yeah,
And
yes.
I had to sit there. He went, "Take it out right now." So I'm sitting there, I'm turning like bright red, and I'm so white that I'm just turning bright red, like so embarrassed. So I'm taking it out. My hair is just like pin, pin, pin. Like I have 1,000 pins. It's just like pin, pins, pins all over the floor. My hair now is like, it's like this. My hair is just like huge. And he's like, "Okay, now do it again." And I just was sitting there with my hair all over the place, embarrassed. I did it again, and he was like, "Okay, thank." It was awful. I hated every
Ugh.
second of it.
I would
I did
love to
not
see
get the
that
part.
audition tape because she's like,
Ugh.
hair's all crazy. She's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Now I'm
Now-
sexy.
Like,
yeah, and
is
I would
this
have said,
sexy?
so you're casting my hair?
Yeah.
Is that what
No.
we're casting here? Because I'm gonna go to hair and makeup, and we're not filming this
Right.
Yeah,
today,
no.
right?
No imagination.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Right.
and it's just so that stuff happens in person, and that's
One of my
terrible.
favorite moments
Yeah,
was this
that's
guy.
hard.
This guy was working with another kid, and he was doing improv, and the other kid stopped him because he was so off book, right? And the other kid, he said, sorry, guys, and he said, what are you doing? And everybody was laughing. We're having a blast. It's all this improv, and he just looks at the kid. He goes, "I'm trying to get a fucking job,"
No.
and everybody just cracked up.
Zing.
So I would say if you're in the room and they start doing this stuff, like to not be in screen, be like, "Are you casting my hair? Like, what are we doing here?"
Yeah.
Like, stand up
You
for
know.
yourself, right? Like, what are you doing? Like,
I know.
I don't think you get away with that sort of treatment anymore.
No.
No.
And I think now I'm more equipped for things like that.
Yeah.
I would not be scared to
Yeah.
say, "Hey, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
take my hair down. Can we do it or not?" Like
I
if
would
it's that
I said no because I have to go do a bigger audition
what
after this one, and my hair's made for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And that
That's
one's more
exactly what
important to me
happened to
than
me.
this one.
In 2021,
Yeah.
I booked a commercial with Cast Station, and I went for the fitting, and the producers, everybody's there, and they were like, "Can you put your hair down?" And I was like, "No." And then it was the costumer. She looked at me because I was the only Black person on set, and so she was like, "She can't do that."
Huh?
And I was like,
Yeah.
and I was like, in real life, I was working on something else that you gave me later on. So
Yeah.
my hair was in the position, and she was like, "She can't do that. She has something else she's booked on. You don't need to see her hair right now. You saw her hair during the audition." And I was like, finally, someone
That's
who was
awesome.
like,
Someone's- yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And it was a white person.
Wow.
And I was like, and she came to me, she goes, "I get it. You're Black.
Go
You
white
can't just
girl.
Black hair can't just maneuver
Yeah.
like that." And I'm
No.
like, "No, thank you."
That's
Well,
awesome.
some people have a special skill, Black hair maneuver.
Some,
It's not like-
look, if I do this, it'll stay.
That's
But
amazing.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
but it was that long that I was like, no, and I knew it might be an issue, but I was prepared to actually stand up for myself at that time. I was
Yeah,
proud.
good. Yeah, I think that we're in a world now where that everyone feels more empowered than how it used to be. Like it used to
Yeah.
be. It used to be so bad.
I feel like you're trucking along. I know we're stopped work right now, but
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
you're
It's good that you feel like
you
that.
don't,
I don't
do you? No. I don't know if we
I don't-
ever do. We were talking to Scoot McNairy, and I don't know if we ever do.
Yeah, it's
Well,
good.
he doesn't feel that
No,
way. He's
he
doing
does-
great.
I know.
Isn't that,
He's like
isn't
He
that
said, he said
Yeah.
he feels like the last one is maybe my last one, and he goes
Yeah.
and he has a good point. He's like, and it's true. Where did that guy
Yeah.
go? Where did this guy go? Right? It's
Yeah.
true. It's not. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the name, but I sat with someone on a roof that's huge, and he was like, "I'm done," and I was like, "If you're done,
Yeah.
I'm never
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about?" But-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
I mean,
On that
that's
note,
really-
thanks for coming.
No, tell me. No, tell me, Boo. What are you feeling?
No, I also think there is something happening where many of us are feeling that way. Just the way things are moving and how things are looking and what the landscape is and all the streaming stuff and the films that are being made. And I, I, are we not all kind of questioning, like, is this the world that I imagined
Mhm.
being a part of? It's not the world I imagined being a part of. I don't think it is for any of us. And is it meaningful? Does it matter? I mean, I'm asking myself this all the time.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Ashley, because I feel that way. And I
Mhm.
think I'm going to call you from the car on the way home because I have been alone in my house in Austin, Texas, thinking it was just me,
No, girl.
that I'm having this
No.
No, I think
completely
everybody's
different
like,
relationship to
shit's
what
going off the
I
rails.
do.
Right.
Yeah.
Stuff is really weird right
It's
now.
really weird.
It's
It feels
extremely
like it
weird.
has very little impact on humanity,
Right.
what we do. And
We're on a
And the
spaceship
question
and
is-
no one's steering.
no one's
Yeah.
driving.
No one's
No one's
driving.
steering.
Yeah.
And it makes you, I don't know. I think that it's like, do people want to be moved in the same way
Yes.
that they once did? Or I don't know. Or
Yes.
do they want just the like Marvel, nothing against Marvel or any of these things. I would be in one in a second if they asked me
Marvel, are
to.
you listening? Ashley's
Yet,
available.
yet
So
it's
am
like,
I.
is that really what we want to do? You know, it's like, I just don't know. I don't know.
I know. Let's talk.
Yep.
I'm calling you from the car.
And,
Cool.
and when we get through this strike, we'll have you back on so we can start talking about some of the stuff you're doing.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Well, please keep
But this
doing
is
it.
fun talking about casting. It feels good to get it out.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's great just to talk about auditions and how they suck and what it's like and all that. Especially now that we're self-taping, because who am I going to tell?
Right.
My dogs? Like,
Oh man, that self tape was like so bad.
yeah. Like what they're, we're all so
Yeah.
fractured. We're not as communal.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
We're all just like
Yeah.
splitting and there's
Yeah.
no connection. Yeah.
Yeah,
probably what
it's
it
a
is.
little lonely right now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would say, like, we're all a little. I get very lonely. I'm like, oh, I'm a lonely actor over here on the other side of this phone or computer.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
So
Well,
anyway, on that really nice.
on that
note.
note, on a very special episode of In the Room. No, thank you so much, Ashley, for coming and talking to us. I swear it's everything that you say is, it's moving and for other people to hear us all go through our struggles. So thank you for sharing everything that you shared.
Yeah. It was good seeing your face.
Yes, you too, and you too. Oh gosh. Well,
Well,
thanks for having me.
keep going just a little longer, please.
Yeah, I will. At
'Cause,
the end of the day,
I
I'm
mean-
an optimist, and I'm like, no, we gotta keep moving. Things always get hard, no matter, right? It's like there's always the hard stuff.
Yeah.
And if you get too lonely, just text us. We'll DoorDash
Yeah.
something over. you know.
Yeah.
I'll just come see you.
Yeah. Come home. Come
Come see
home.
us.
Let's go.
Come home.
Let's go see something at the Town and Country Playhouse.
That would be great. Let's see how it's doing.
Yeah.
That would be so awesome.
And then after the show, go up to Purple Girl number 3 and give her lots of flowers and hugs.
Yeah.
Tell her how great she
Yeah.
was.
Or,
Yeah.
or walk in and say, you guys probably don't remember me, but I was Purple Girl number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where I am now.
Now I'm on Rugrats.
Yeah.
Now I'm on
Muppet
Rugrats
Babies.
and Muppet Babies and Vice Principals. And...
Yeah.
No
check it
autographs,
out.
please. No
Yeah,
autographs,
yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
thanks for
Thank
coming,
you.
Ashley. You're lovely and amazing, and it's
So are
really
you.
good catching up with you.
You
and
too.
I
Good
think
to
you
see
have
you
some
all.
socials that people can follow you
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh, yeah, if they want to, I'm on there. Not super active, but I'm there. Lots of pictures of my dog. I don't like saying my name on it. It's embarrassing. It's Manatee Ray.
Which I love. I love manatees.
This is so Ashley. She froze and we're
Yeah.
done. She froze. Yeah.
There you are.
I was gonna.
Me
This
too.
is so Ashley to just freeze, and that's the end of it.
I love you, girl.
All right.
All right. Bye
Thanks for
bye.
coming.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.